Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everyday Hope and Simply Grace. Choose hope, embrace grace. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today for this explainer, because we are going on a bit of a journey together. We are moving right away from that suffocating feeling of financial anxiety and stepping into a place of empowered, purposeful stewardship. Let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever felt like you're doing, well, literally everything right? Working the extra hours, cutting way back on eating out, saying no to vacations, and yet the money just seems to vanish into thin air? It's so frustrating. We read the Bible for spiritual comfort, for sure, but have you ever looked at it as a highly practical, step-by-step blueprint for your bank account? Today, we are unpacking some truly timeless wisdom that reveals the actual secrets of wealth.
But hey, before we dive into all that, let's just get real for a second. We've all been there. You know that tiny, awful moment of sheer panic when you get the email saying your credit card statement is ready? Or, hey, how about actively ignoring your banking app because you literally just don't want to see what your impulse buys did to your balance over the weekend? Yeah, it's incredibly relatable. We constantly tell ourselves that if we just got a little raise or hit one lucky investment, the whole shebang would be fixed. But the hard truth? Throwing more money at financial chaos is basically like pouring gasoline on a fire. So the real question we've got to answer first is this: are you the master of your money, or are you just its steward? To figure that out, here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, we'll shift your money mindset. 2, we'll take control of the chaos. 3, we'll explore wealth with a mission. And finally, number 4, we'll land on your Life Plus moment, which is a super practical step you can take today. All right, part 1, shift your money mindset from anxious consumer to wise steward. Let's get into it. You see, the absolute first step to a true financial turnaround isn't suddenly finding a higher paying job. Actually, scratch that. It's a complete top to bottom shift in how we even think about the resources in our hands. We so often pray, God, please just give me more money, right? But look at King Solomon. When he was asked what he wanted, he didn't ask for gold or real estate or even the destruction of his enemies. He asked for wisdom. He asked for a discerning heart. And why is that absolutely crucial? Because without wisdom and self-control, earning more literally just means wasting more. If you have a high income but poor control, you just create much more expensive waste. And if you lack inner security, having more money just means buying really expensive things to prove your worth to people you don't even kind of like. True wealth only starts when you ask for the wisdom to manage. Now, this requires the deepest identity shift you can possibly make. It's the shift from being a consumer to being a steward. Think about it. If you believe you're the absolute owner of your money, you're going to spend it however you want. You'll say, it's my money, I earned it, I totally deserve this new phone. But if you view yourself as a steward, a manager of God's resources, everything flips. A good manager doesn't just impulsively blow the boss's budget. A manager tracks things faithfully, asks if a purchase actually aligns with the ultimate purpose, and manages with real care. I'm telling you, simply remembering I am managing God's money is pretty much the greatest impulse buy blocker ever invented. Moving right along to part 2, taking control of chaos, bringing order to your finances. So shifting from how we think about our money to how we actually take action, well, it's time to face the scary numbers. We've all seen a budget that looks kind of like this. You get your paycheck, and before you can even take a breath, poof, it completely vanishes. Just eaten alive by automatic subscriptions you totally forgot to cancel, crushing debt interest, and those late-night online shopping impulse buys. And you're left at the end of the month wondering, where on earth did it all go? The blunt truth is, you absolutely cannot manage what you refuse to face. Chaos chases away blessings, plain and simple. If you don't know exactly where your money is going, how can you expect to be entrusted with more? So getting the right financial order is absolutely critical. If your daily lifestyle and fleeting desires are sitting at the very top of your list, you are always going to be broke. The biblical order flips this entirely upside down. First, prioritize God and giving. Doing this breaks the grip of greed right off the bat. Second, prioritize savings and preparing for your future. Third, handle your family responsibilities. And finally, whatever is left over, that's for your daily lifestyle and desires. When you actually put God and your future first, you build this incredible fortress that protects you from being ruled by your shifting, day-to-day cravings. And of course, we have to talk about the elephant in the room: debt. The book of Proverbs hits so hard with this reality. The borrower is slave to the lender. We so often think of those quote-unquote harmless monthly installments as just the normal cost of modern living. We tell ourselves, oh, it's just a little bit a month. But listen to me, those installments are quietly stealing your future freedom. You want to change careers? You can't. You've got too much debt. You want to spend way more time with your kids? You can't. You have to work overtime to pay that credit card bill. Eradicating consumer debt isn't just about the math. It is literally about buying back your life choices.
Now, sometimes people get this part completely wrong. They think having a savings account means you aren't really trusting God to provide. That is completely false. No way. Saving isn't a lack of faith. It is faithful, disciplined preparation. Think about Joseph in the Bible. He didn't just sit back and say, well, God will provide during the famine. No, he actively, rigorously saved grain during the 7 years of plenty so that entire nations wouldn't be crushed when the famine actually hit. Having an emergency fund simply means you are proactively preparing your vessel for the inevitable storms of life. And while we're preparing, we also have to be working. Look, we all love to pray for miraculous provision, and yes, God certainly provides, but diligence and continually upgrading your skills are the usual channels for that supply. We can't just be lazy about it. We need to be reliable, we need to learn new tools, become so much better at our professions, and operate with absolute integrity in the workplace. Because when opportunity finally knocks, you want to make darn sure your skills are sharp enough to actually open the door. Okay, part 3, wealth with a mission, generosity and higher purpose. So what happens when you actually pull it off? What happens when you finally get out of debt and your finances actually have some real breathing room? How do you protect that newfound peace from just turning into pride? Well, first off, you have to avoid the trap. When you start getting a little ahead, the temptation is to jump into get-rich-quick schemes, risky speculation, or just trying to keep up appearances with your friends who are blowing all their cash. The internet is absolutely full of voices promising instant wealth. Do not fall for it. The true path is patience, long-term consistency, and honestly, adjusting your social circle. You need to surround yourself with wise counsel, people who celebrate discipline, not reckless spending. And right here is one of the most profound secrets we are covering in this explainer, the power of generosity. So many of us say, oh, I'll be generous when I'm rich. I'll give when all my debts are finally paid off. But here's the thing. Generosity doesn't start from a full wallet. It starts from a freed heart. Giving, even when things are super tight, completely breaks the idol of money in your life. It stops you from just shifting from being a slave to debt straight into being a slave to your own savings account. It reminds your soul every single time that your ultimate security comes from God, not your bank balance. Because if we don't learn this lesson, we run headfirst into this tragic truth. Wealth must have a mission, or it is just expensive emptiness. If you finally get financially free and literally all you do is upgrade your car, upgrade your house, and upgrade your wardrobe without helping a single soul, advancing God's kingdom, or blessing your community, well, you haven't actually found financial freedom. You've just purchased a much more expensive form of anxiety. Wealth is a tool meant to flow through you, not some shiny trophy meant to be hoarded. Which brings us to part 4, your Life Plus moment, from knowledge to immediate action. Now it's time to bring all this soulful wisdom right down to the ground. I am giving you a homework assignment for tonight. I don't want you to wait for tomorrow. I don't want you to wait until your next paycheck clears. Tonight, I want you to sit down with a piece of paper and a pen, or, open a spreadsheet on your phone, and just do these 3 things. Step 1, write down your exact fixed monthly income. Step 2, write down your exact fixed monthly expenses. And step 3, the scariest one, tally up all your exact debt. Every single credit card, every loan, every payment plan. Do not guess, do not estimate, go find the exact number right down to the penny. Now, I know that looking at those numbers might literally make your stomach turn. It's gonna sting a bit. But let me encourage you with everything I have. The turnaround doesn't start when you suddenly earn more money. The turnaround starts the exact moment you step into the light and face the truth. When you pull all that chaos out of the darkness and put it down on paper, that is the exact moment the chains of debt start to break. You take your power back the second you look the monster right in the eye. So as you look at those numbers tonight and really begin the hard, beautiful work of becoming a wise steward, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. Ask yourself, if God completely flipped your finances tomorrow, like if the debt was totally gone and the abundance was just overflowing, what would be your wealth's mission? Who would you help? How would you change the world around you? Keep that mission right in your heart as you do the work. Everyday hope and simply grace. See you next time.